I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Welcome in. Another edition of the Daily Puck Drop. It is Monday, June 30th, the last day. And then we hit July, and then that's really kind of when summer starts, right? Or no, summer really officially starts on July 5th here in the Pacific Northwest. Welcome in the Daily Puck Drop. We go live every day at 10 a.m. to 11:30 on Twitter, YouTube, the Puck Sports mobile app. If you want to watch the replays or listen to the shows afterwards, everything goes up on YouTube right after the show, 12 o'clock. Just search Puck Sports. And, of course, the Daily Puck Drop and everything else available on your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, up at pucksports.com, where there at pucksports.com, you can sign up to become a Puck's Posse member, which again, entails the support of everything we do at the Daily Puck Drop. Plus, you get bonus content as well, including this week's Sports Pit with myself, Steve Sandmeyer, Matt Stretch Johnson, available now. For Puck's Posse members, the full 1-hour podcast recorded late last night titled Brown Bear Car Wash. You'll have to listen to it to figure out why we called it Brown Bear Car Wash. We, as always, will give you a 15-minute sneak preview of it coming up later in today's show. All right, we're broadcasting from the Limback Lumber Studios. Contractors, they got free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects. Largest stock moldings in the Northwest, old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give Limback Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbacklumber.com. Social media platforms, we're everywhere. Puck Sports on Twitter and on Blue Sky and Instagram, Puck_sports there on TikTok, and find us on Facebook. On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by, voted by Bend Magazine, the best golf marshal in the Bend and Lapine area. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the go-to guy who is brought to you by...
Hey, Puck, it's good to see you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by A Clean Streak out of Oak Harbor, Washington. There on Whidbey Island, professional window and exterior cleaning service, proudly serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years. You like it when I stumble, don't you? I'll stumble a little more before we're done. Brian Turner and his capable crew, they're going to clean your roof, they'll unclog your gutters, they'll pressure wash your driveway or patio. And the number one thing I want you to do when you call Brian Turner is get your windows washed, okay? I saw the sun coming through my windows today. If Brian were here, I would hire him to do the job because they're a mess. You can't see it until the sun comes through. The sun's coming through your windows right now. So give Brian Turner at A Clean Streak a call at 360. You can get a free estimate. He'll come down there and tell you how much it's going to cost. No commitment necessary. 360-395-5748 or go to see, I told you, go to acleanstreak.com. God, you'd think after 15 years I'd have this shit down, but I just don't. I just have never been good at it. God, I just suck, man. Why do you keep having me on? I don't get it.
I love you because of this.
God. I really try. I used to try really hard, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. And it always felt like I was reading it, and I'd hear other professionals and they knew how to do it. It sounded like they were just talking to you at a bar. But I was always like, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. God.
You're good. It's fine. You're doing great.
No,
also, you can read all of his work at his fabulous website, Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com, by the way.
Yeah,
got a latest article up there published 2 hours ago with a beautiful picture of he and his wife titled, "My Wife Was Fired for a Dumb Reason." I enjoyed the read. I don't mean to laugh at her expense, but I found it enjoyable, all of it.
Well, do you think anyone should be fired if they have a margarita 4 hours before they go to a company meeting?
How strong was the margarita?
Well, they make good ones at Rancho South.
I bet they do.
Yeah, they make good ones.
Sounds like Kathy was like Shooter from Hoosiers.
Okay, here's what I want you to do, and any listeners. So my wife was fired from her concert job for having a drink before she went to a meeting, 4 hours before the meeting. I want the listeners out there to have a margarita sometime and stop after one margarita. Okay, one
right? Margarita, two
and
margarita.
then tell me how you feel 4 hours later. Do you feel intoxicated 4 hours later? I'm going to say that the answer would probably be no.
Okay. Well, you can read all of it at his wonderful Substack site, Jim Moore, the go-to guy.substack.com. Also, he details his first day as a starter at Quail Run. It's good. I love all of this. We basically just get an up, like every article that you're writing right now is just an update on your life, which I enjoy.
Well, I'm torn on that a little bit because it seems like you get more response to like what you're doing in your normal life than you do like what I think about Cal Raleigh and the Mariners or whatever.
Of course, I'm going to tell you.
I don't understand that because like, why would anybody? I mean, no offense to myself, but
no offense.
I mean, I guess people can relate to everyday stuff,
of course,
and it's not like it's just like, hey, look at me and what I'm doing, but it's just, I guess, relatable to. Like, why in the hell would somebody get fired after having one drink going to a company meeting? I don't understand that. But
I mean, when you're just, breathing tequila on the boss, maybe the boss didn't like it.
God, he's such a dick, man. He is such a dick. And he comes across like, oh, God, I'm Mr. Nice Guy. Jim, it's great to see you.
Yeah, one of those guys. I know those guys. I know someone in particular right now that is really under my skin. But I'm not going to get into it.
Who's that?
I'm not going to get into it. I just said I'm not going to get into it.
Well, just give us one more detail.
He's just like that person. Very positive, very in your face. Oh, yeah. And then behind the scenes, you hear like, well, they said this about you and that about you, and they're mad about this. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Okay. All right.
Then don't act like you're don't. I'm not going to give
somebody in Little League circles.
No, I'm just telling you. We all know that person. Just they get really, really friendly to your face, and then then you hear behind the scenes stuff. I'm like, just have some balls, and just, if you're upset, just say it. You're upset. That's something.
It's like, God, Jim, it's so good to see you, Jim. God, how you been? How are things going? Hey, just so wonderful. Hey, Brad, you know what? I'm just standing here with a damn noodle, letting people into a concert. Yeah,
Brad. Sorry, Brad. I did let someone in with like 3 firearms on it, but hey, Brad, it was okay. Hey,
I kept my job letting somebody in with a gun.
And you did. That's what's amazing about this whole thing. You kept your job and you let someone with a firearm into a concert who was, by the way, not a cop, right?
That was a lie. He had fake ID.
He had a fake ID. So this person had a fake ID, fake everything. They pretended to be a cop. For this group at Live Nation, that's who Live Nation runs this thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. But your wife getting boozed up all afternoon.
She wasn't boozed up. She had one drink.
That
doesn't qualify as boozed up.
Okay, but here's what I want to know. Was it a pint or was it a fishbowl?
Well,
that was the fishbowl, which you know and I know.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, when you get a margarita, does anyone...
not one drink. You know that. That's not one drink in there.
Okay, 1.5, let's say that.
Oh, if it's the big fishbowl?
Okay, but still, the big fishbowl? It wasn't a big fishbowl. But even if it was... What 4 hours later?
What kind of was it? Miniature fishbowl? Was it the one like what they're served in? Not a pint glass, but the bigger one, right?
Well, maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay.
I miss. You know what? I miss the days when we could drink at work. I mean, that was.
I can drink at work.
Well, you could right now. Yeah, you're not going to fire yourself.
I can't fire myself, and I can take unlimited PTO.
No, God, Edgar's Cantina, when we used to do those Friday shows at 7:10.
Well, you can drink there. Yeah, you could. It just was the board operator couldn't drink.
God,
all right, so
awesome.
here's what I love about the story. One, you didn't get fired for letting a firearm in, which this person could have sat there and killed people.
Shot the place up. Yeah,
shot the place up. She has a margarita, fishbowl size of the King Dome margarita 4 hours before.
No,
I know. I'm going to stop. She has a margarita before 4 hours before. Okay, she gets fired because apparently she's talking too close to the guy. He smells booze. He's like, what's going on? That makes sense.
And I had that same margarita, by the way, that same size margarita.
Yeah.
And I kept my job.
Oh, it's amazing. Here's the thing. You detail in the story, and again, go read it. Jim Moore, the go-to guy, Substack.com. I do a much better job of promoting Jim's website than he does. My wife was fired for a dumb reason. Why did Brad? Do you never run into details about why Brad was fired from the school? Do we not know the details, or do we why was he fired? I want a more investigative piece on why Brad was let go from the school. Something's nefarious there with Brad and the school.
Okay, well, I'll have that in the next Substack post.
Do you know why he got fired?
I have an idea. Yeah. Yeah, there's a newspaper story about it. And he contends, it was something to do with another teacher, how he mishandled the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brad.
but I do have, some class, not much,
Right.
but I have enough class that I didn't feel like that was necessary to include that stuff in the story.
Oh, I think it is necessary. Brad is firing for not being a good team leader or whatever that thing was that he gave about not being a leader on the team. Brad was fired from his job at a school was he being a good leader if he's dancing around with another teacher?
Well, and it might have had something to do with retweeting something from a white supremacist too.
So we've got a Ku Klux Klan member down there in Bend.
It's possible that might have factored in. So I didn't really think that any of that had anything to do with this. Just the fact that he went on and on about how he felt he was unfairly fired himself to turn around and unfairly fire someone else, I thought was kind of rich.
I agree with you. White supremacy in Bend. That doesn't.
No, that doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't fit.
No, it's just it doesn't.
So much diversity there that you would think that just would.
Hey, come on, stop it! Do your professional host thing of somehow seamlessly transitioning to, Texas State or whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Can you believe they're in? Are you excited? The Bobcats are in. Texas State has officially joined the conference today. I think the good news is, just for me, is that at least there is some, normalcy. I'm trying to think of what I was blanking on the right word. Closure to whatever this next Pac-12 is going to be, or whatever we're going to call it. At least there is they finally have some firm ground. They're going to be at least a conference here for the next few years until there's some other big change. And you and I both aren't really excited about Texas State. Doesn't do it for me, but I'm willing to learn. I've heard nothing but great things about them. Surprised how that's like the 24th largest school in the country, like U.S. public.
I saw they had 40,000 students.
That's huge, big. So I've had people that have visited the campus. They say it's wonderful. So I don't know. I'm just glad that they found an eighth member. They can move on, play some football, and we'll see where this goes. And we'll still have our level of excitement in the fall. I'll be honest with you, it's not as much as it used to be. That sucks because of how we've all broken up, and all these schools are in different conferences now. It's just not that same regionality to it, rivalry with it, which is sad as a sports fan. I'm not gonna sit here and blame anyone. It's just sad as a sports fan. I just like watching these other teams play. I like watching, and following these other schools in our conference. And I guess now I can sit there and follow, Utah State and now Texas State and all that. But it's not the same as following, Arizona and Arizona State and having the history with those schools, right? It's not the same. Never will be. It's why I never really got into Colorado. I never really, and Utah a little bit because but I never got into those two schools. I was always more just of the old school Pac-12 guy. I would watch Cal play at 7:30 at night against whoever in front of 5,000 people because it was like Cal Bears. And yeah, why not? Marshawn Lynch went there. Great team. Aaron Rodgers, great little squad for a while. You there? Did we lose you? Did you freeze up again?
Technical difficulties, it looks like.
You've got wonderful internet there. Jim Moore does.
It did. I keep up.
We will we'll cut Jim Moore out. He's got to get some better internet down there in Bend, Oregon, or Lapine. Are you back up and running here, sir?
I hope so. I really don't know what's going on. I do.
We got to get like a hard wire into his little he shed there. All right, so we're running through some internet issues there with Jim down there in Bend, Oregon. Texas State to me is It's a fine story. And I'm glad that Texas State is going to be in the conference. And I'm glad they're going to still be playing college football. But it's just kind of a tough one because it's just not the same. It's not the same as, having Oregon in it, and Washington. I mean, they're going to play Washington every year, or at least in the future play Washington every single year. But, it's just not the same. When those schools are traveling across the country, they're in a different conference. And, I think people get fired up to play USC or even UCLA. There is a history between all these schools. I am happy that at least they found an eighth member so they could sit there and at least continue to play football and at least have a semblance of a conference. He may have reconnected. Let's check back here. How you work? How is it now?
Well, I reconnected on the iPad. Can you hear me okay?
You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, that's why does it work out there? Why does the iPad work, but nothing else? The other stuff doesn't work. What do you got?
No, the other one, I don't know. The other one works too. And then I could get my phone, and some people are probably going, Jesus, what's Moore doing out in the shed? I mean, why doesn't he get in the house? It'll probably work better in the house. But I'm actually closer to the modem here in the shed than I am in the house.
Well, it sounds like that it's working much better out there than inside the house.
I don't know, God. I get so sick of having these problems. I swear to God, it's because, the cyber gods know that I'm 68 and they just want to mess with me.
You know what you should do out there? May I give you a piece of advice? You can get like these Wi-Fi extenders. Do you know what those are?
Oh yeah, Wi-Fi extenders? No, I don't know what they are.
So there's a little extenders, like they're like you plug them into your wall, and they boost the signal around your house.
Okay, what can I get them on Amazon or where
yes, you can. You can get everything on Amazon.
All right, well, let me write it down. Wi-Fi extenders. How much
Wi-Fi, are they? Huh?
How much are
Don't
they?
worry. You send me the bill and Puck Sports will take care of you.
So what,
obviously you could use a Wi-Fi extender right now because right now he is just frozen up. Look at him. A little Wi-Fi extender, you're good. You plug it in and away you go. I don't think we'll have Jim Moore today. Sorry, on a Monday show. I mean, he's just, he's in and out. And I keep going. I'm going to keep going back and putting you back on. How are you?
No.
You're doing great.
I'm great. I feel bad for the listeners, though. Yeah, you might be better off without me. I don't know, but I'll do my best here if we can keep going.
That's fine. If we get a couple more minutes out of you, we'll be good. We can always pivot. I got a great interview with Bill Krueger, and we've got a 15-minute sneak preview there of the world-renowned Sports Pit coming up. Wi-Fi extenders, Amazon, yes. Put one outside, like by your house, and put one in the she shed.
Okay. I'll do it.
Good to go. You'll be good to go. I guarantee it. All right. Before we lose you again, which I'm sure is going to happen here momentarily, thoughts on Texas State joining the conference? Happy, not happy, lukewarm, what?
You know what, Puck? I'm warming up to the idea. I'm always so damn negative, and I hate this.
Yeah, we're just going to cut him off. My apologies to the go-to guy. We're going to get it solved for him down there. And I think what it is, my guess is that Brad also moonlights is probably some technical person down there. And Brad is probably now going in there and cutting off his Wi-Fi. That's what I think Brad is doing. Again, the news, Texas State has officially joined the conference. And they will begin play after next season. So they have the 8 members now for football, be able to play football, and then obviously they'll be in part of the basketball conference there as well. So good news there on that. John Canzone will join us tomorrow. We'll get the very latest from Canzone. You can read all of John's work, johncanzone.com. I don't know if he's got a post up there right now, but he will have a post up there soon in discussing the addition there of Texas State to the Pac-12. All right, Bill Krueger coming up in a bit. We caught up with Bill. We always record in the morning with Bill, Old School Baseball, his weekly appearance with us. You can always follow Bill, _MLB there on social media. The Sports Pit, we'll give you a sneak preview of the Sports Pit coming up as well in a little bit. The full Sports Pit is available to one and all, by the way. If you just go sign up at pucksports.com, you can sign up there and you'll get the full our show. Mariners, they rally to win last night thanks to, Mitch Garver should send Harry Ford a thank you note. Because Harry Ford gets up on the taxi squad. Mitch Garver's like, Bob, I'm going to keep my job. You don't pressure me. I'm going to deliver a win for the Mariners. They rally to win by a score of 6-4 there in extra innings. 3 straight extra inning games for the Mariners. They improved to 43-40. Very good road trip. They end up finishing that road trip 6-4. It was a long one. They had to deal with the heat, the weather in Minnesota. Then they get to Texas and then finish off that Texas series with 3 straight extra inning games. Problem is they finished 6-4 on the road trip. They can't make up any ground because the Astros just keep winning. They still remain 6.5 games back now of Houston in the American League West. They have a 2-game lead on the Angels in the wild card. And I guess at this point, you're just like, get in no matter what. Playoffs, fine. But this was the year, which is extremely frustrating when you watch them. This was the year they were supposed to get the Astros because this division is very winnable, and it still is. It's only June 30th. It's not like they can't make up 6.5 games until the end of the season. But the fact is you haven't been able to make up any of these games. They don't have Yordan Alvarez. He's going to be coming back. And look at the 2 guys they lost on this team, and Tucker and Bregman. They're probably going, Jesus, we didn't expect this. Can you imagine that? Can you believe that we're in a position where we now at June 30th have a 6.5 game lead? Dude, we might have been sellers at the deadline. We thought how this season would go. Now we're going to be buyers. So that's frustrating for the M's that they are playing better, but that other team hasn't slowed down at all. Now, as your pitching gets better and maybe that comes more into form, they'll start winning some more games. And you would eventually feel or think, I should say, that the Astros will slow down. So we'll wait and see. We get into with Krueger on today's show, which we'll play here momentarily, coming up in a few minutes, and then we'll do the sports bit coming up as well. Just about a big topic on the sports pit and with Krueger was Dylan Moore, and then we talked a little Jorge Polanco with Bill Krueger. The interesting thing with Dylan Moore that I want to ask you before you listen to it coming up, this angle or this conversation with Dylan Moore, we did not broach it with Krueger, but was a big topic with the Sports Pit crew, Steve Sandmeyer and Matt Stretch Johnson. Is Dylan Moore fan favorite? Because I brought up the whole, and Jim does this all the time, right? Why do we always have to preface everything like Dylan Moore is a great guy before we then turn around and bag on the guy is because he's not playing well, and he's not playing well. Last 40 games, he's been awful, and he is in a slump in a play that he's probably never been in before. He just looks lost up there, and he's not playing, as Krueger will note when you hear it. He's not playing with a lot of confidence right now, and you can just see that everywhere. But I do feel like, do you think he's a fan favorite? Because I think there is a segment of fans who are like, I've seen enough of him. But I always feel like because he's I play every position, try hard guy, always hustle, which he does. Like he never is not out there trying hard, and working hard and giving everything you got. I mean, everything. So no one will ever take that away from Dylan Moore. But I feel like he is a fan favorite. And Steve brought up in our conversation, is it like Willie Bloomquist, but the difference with Bloomquist is he notes, well, he was a local kid. To me, Moore and Bloomquist, I just think are the same. How I think there is a segment of this fan base because of how hard he plays and the effort and all that they give Dylan Moore, they cut him some slack. I'm not saying everybody does that. And I'm not saying you should cut him any slack. But I wonder how you all view Dylan Moore just as a player and where you rank him in terms of where he sits with Mariner fandom. Because it was a big discussion that we had on the Sports Pit this week about Dylan Moore, because you look at his numbers right now for Dylan Moore, and I mean, it's just, it's mind-boggling how bad he's been. Dylan Moore in his last 40 games, 169 batting average, an OPS of 496. He has struck out 41 times and 7 walks. Think about that. Last 40 games, 41 strikeouts and 7 walks there for Dylan Moore, and he's just not been good. Has not been good at all. Meanwhile, the chef's kiss, Dom Canzone. You know where I sit on Canzone, and it's a weird personal thing that I brought up with Krueger. We all have our little weird things, but you can't discredit the play of Dom Canzone since he's been back up. And I wouldn't even do that at all. 273, his OPS damn near 900. Just looks better. Looks better. So we get into that there with Krueger, just about what he has seen differently there from Dom Canzone. And then Jorge Polanco. I put it out on social media earlier about Polanco, and Bill and I had chatted about that. But Jorge Polanco, I mean, if you take away the first month of the season, Jorge Polanco is back to Jorge Polanco from 2024. You are watching now more of a sample size of 24 Polanco than you were in that first month of the season. Remember the first month of the season, the guy was on fire. It was unbelievable. You remember when it was, now it's Cal and Aaron Judge MVP? There was like, look at Jorge Polanco. He's playing at an MVP level with Aaron Judge. No one's hotter than Aaron Judge. The only one that's close to Aaron Judge is Jorge Polanco. You take away that first month now from Polanco. His last 45 games, 183, an on base of 249. He's slugging 255. And his OPS at 503. So he is, and again, last year it was revealed the injury, how much it bothered him, cut him some slack. He comes back. Remember, spring wasn't really doing much. He wasn't going to play third base because he couldn't. Then he's just on fire with the bat. But that is, I mean, we all thought he would regress a little bit. And we've talked about it a lot, whether it was with Brad or with Bill or with Jim when his internet is working, or with Divish on his Wednesday appearance, that he was going to come back to life or come back down to earth, right? But this, I mean, he's jumped off a cliff. I mean, this is, I mean, borderline. I'll have to look back what he was last year. That's worse than last year, what he's doing right now. And I don't know if it's an injury, if the knee's bothering him again, or that he had the oblique issue, what have you. But you're getting to a point now where, I mean, you have to find an upgrade for him. Because it was an interesting conversation with Krueger that I pay attention to. If they can go out and get someone like Suarez from Arizona. So you get Suarez, and now there's going to be other teams that are going to be biting for his services. Seattle's not going to be the only one that wants a Eugenio Suarez if he's available. Look at his numbers this year. Everyone's going to want him. If you need a right-handed bat in offense, everyone's going to be going out and trying to get him. Seattle and Arizona obviously have history together. They have history with Suarez. If you get him, yes, you can plug him in there at third. Williamson obviously is not the hitter that you thought he would be. He's never going to, not never, but he doesn't have the power. He doesn't slug enough for a third baseman. So yeah, you play Suarez over there as much as you can. But also, I think with where Polanco is right now, I'm putting Suarez because I like Williamson. You say what you want offensively for Ben Williamson. His glove has been more than adequate at the major league level. That's a Major League Baseball fielding third baseman. You just put Suarez then at DH, and then what do you do with Polanco? Because the last 45 games, I mean, he's just been, again, worse than he was last year with the Mariners. We get into all of that on today's episode of Old School Baseball there with Bill Krueger. He joins me every single Monday to talk Mariners baseball. You can find his podcast, Old School Baseball, Spotify, Apple, wherever you find your podcast. Also follow him on social media, old_school_MLB. He joins me every single Monday. We do it bright and early in the morning because he's got stuff to do. Bill Krueger on the state of the Mariners. Great. It's every Monday. We get to talk to Bill Krueger, Old School Baseball, ladies and gentlemen. That's the podcast. Find it on all podcast platforms, Old School Baseball. Also follow Bill on social media. He's like an influencer, guys. He's a content creator. Old_MLB, where he puts fresh new video clips up daily talking Mariners baseball, usually with the cool glasses. Last week he had the cool glasses on. This week he doesn't have the cool glasses on. I don't appreciate it.
I got to
cool
keep you
glasses
off
back.
balance. Off balance is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, just zigging and zagging, jab, jab, jab.
Today I'm trying to maybe try to look like I'm younger than I really am, but
Well, you look
then maybe
great.
I want to be really smart and I'll put the glasses on.
Yeah.
Maybe if I start to really struggle, I'll just put the glasses on midway through the show, Jason. How would that be? Because if you start feeling like I'm starting to look like I'm not too bright, you just go ahead and do that.
I always love I wish I had a pair of glasses here, in the interview when someone's a 60 Minutes, when they want to ask a real hard hitting question to someone in power, they'll put the glasses on. You said in 1984 you would never do this, and now you do it.
True.
Now you've done it, and then they'll pull it off, and they'll bite it a little bit. It's every time I see a reporter, they grab those glasses. I know there's.
It's not like a 400 class at Wazoo.
They do tell you when you take communications or take a TV class that you should always have something or like a prop sometimes in your hand. Just to kind of because people, you don't know what to do with your hands. So if you have something, there's something to do with your hands. How about that little trick?
Right. Very good.
There you go. Yeah. Okay, 6-4 road trip. They took 2 out of 3 from the Rangers. Every one of those Rangers games goes to extra innings. They get the job done. I think Harry Ford gets the MVP for the last few games. You're going to say why? Well, maybe it lit a little fire under Mitch Garver this weekend. Trent Thornton was phenomenal Sunday. It was just able to get 2 innings out of him. But all in all, you look back on that 10-game trip, which had everything, right? Weather, it just all these different spots. Good weather, bad weather, hot weather, rain. You look back and go 6-4. You'll take that.
That was a good trip. 6-4, like you said, and as difficult a circumstances as you can sort of dream up. I mean, to play in 100-degree index with the wind howling out at Wrigley Field against a first-place Cub team, you win 2 out of 3. Then you go into Minnesota, you win your first couple as the hitting shoes are still on, and then they ran into a little bit of good pitching and really a god awful day to play. I mean, the game they lost 10-1 was really the only non-competitive game I think they played. Let's be fair. And, the Zach Pop gets beat around for an inning and they just basically flew the white flag and played for tomorrow. But the club has to feel good. They're playing solid baseball. Their pitching has stabilized. They're still trying to find that consistency offensively. When J.P. Crawford and Raleigh don't hit, it's pretty clear and evident they're not going to score. So they need to find offense in other places.
Well, where do you find it?
Well, the usual suspects, Julio Rodriguez, the guys in the middle, Raley's back in there, Rosarina, hoping for, the field bet at the bottom of the lineup. You never know once you get there, just make the field bet and something might pop. I mean, Canzone's been good. That's not a really good play in when you're playing craps is the field bet, I don't think, but nonetheless, you kind of hope for something there. Long odds that something might happen. Not that those guys are bad players, but this is not a juggernaut offensive team, and they're going to need certain players to produce. And I think you have to keep hoping that the second half Julio Rodriguez is going to happen. He's put the ball in play for sure. Was he going to lead the league in singles? Is he the 6'4", 230-pound Ichiro? Is that what he is? I mean, he hits the ball hard on the ground, but he's just barely slugging 400. And Crawford's had a great year, and even when he didn't hit this past few games, he's hitting the ball in the nose. I mean, he's really been solid, getting on base. It's been a terrific year for JP.
How are they going to adjust to what we have all probably thought was bound to happen from other teams, and that's the intentional walk to Cal? How do they adjust to that moving forward? Because more teams are going to start doing it now.
Well, you have to look at what's hitting behind Cal. You have to look at that. Raley, Rosarina, Polanco, Solano, the field bet. I mean, I think that is where you stare at their team and say, they need another bat.
Yeah.
And that probably doesn't happen. The right leverage, the right moment, the right opportunity, waiting to see how it all sifts out. Teams that are in, teams that are out. Yeah, I mean, Gino Suarez, just watch him and hope that's the guy, because I think that's the guy. He's a rental. He would be great in our clubhouse. He's having in the Mariners clubhouse.
Sure.
And he's been so productive.
Which, if you had to choose, it sounds like you would take him over Naylor. If both were.
Well, I mean, I think it's tough to get two deals at one team. I don't know what that would look like.
But if you could only get one, you would prefer Suarez over Naylor.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, the club's kind of long suited with part-time first baseman, lots of sort of left-handed right field, DH, first base, bat. I mean, I think third base, despite the fact that Williamson is proven that he can really play third. He can really play third.
Yeah, he can.
But, and he's holding his own. He's holding his own offensively, but there's just no slug, right? He's hitting 250, 260, but was he slugging 300?
Yeah.
You need more than that. And the unfortunate thing is that if you had a better bat in the middle, then you could have Williamson at the bottom of the lineup and you'd be fine. But unfortunately, you need more. And where are you going to stick more is the question.
Let's say and again, they get Suarez, and Suarez is having just another terrific season. I mean, 257, he's 25 home runs, he's driven in 68. Let's say they are able to acquire Suarez. And again, we'll wait and see with Arizona. I would assume Arizona would want to be in sale mode, especially with all the injuries that they've had to go through. They're not going to win their division. They're 5 or 6 games back now. They're on the wild card. Now, there's going to be a lot of other suitors, probably after Suarez. If they acquired him because of Williamson's glove, would you just have Suarez DH? Or how would you, because then that's going to take Polanco out. So how would you balance that? You just say, Suarez, you're the third baseman, and we'll deal with Williamson later, and just keep Polanco at your DH.
He's not. I wouldn't call him a premier third baseman, but he's a good third baseman.
Who is?
And Suarez.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player. I mean, he's got a great arm, and he's a player. You always want to caution yourself. I mean, not everybody can DH.
That's true.
And so, I would think Suarez probably does DH. The question is, can you make enough value out of Williamson every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
So, good point, well taken. Polanco has been uneven, to say the best, since the month of April, right? He's been uneven. That's probably being kind, and I'm not, because it's a season, right? And you look at his overall numbers, and he's having a better year than you could have even wished he could have had at this point, even with the downturn in May. So they have a lot of guys. It's like looking at their lineup. It's like they're just. You play the Rangers, and granted, the Rangers, no Berger, no Peterson, no Langsford. And so they look the same every day.
Yeah.
The Mariners are like dart throwers. You don't know who's going to be in the lineup. It sort of speaks to the fact that, yes, do they have versatility, but B, there are just a lot of players that don't quite add up. So you're constantly juggling it, trying to get the best matchup. So, that sort of speaks to flexibility, but it also speaks to weakness.
Yeah. Because you don't know what you have. And there is, you're right, there is no consistency, to their lineup or what they can put out there. Speaking of Polanco, you just brought him up. I mean, we were the first month of the season, we're talking, oh my God, this guy is one of the best players in baseball right now. It was him and Judge AL MVP in that first month. What Polanco was doing was incredible. Since I just quickly looked it up as you were talking, since May 2nd, this is 45 games. I mean, this is 183 batting average, a 249 on base. He is slugging 255, Bill, with a 503 OPS. That is 153 at bats, 169 plate appearances. I mean, he's fallen off. Like, we knew that he was going to take a step back. That's a big fall off. They just jumped off the Grand Canyon cliff.
and you're kind of hedging, hoping that he sort of revives and starts to swing the bat better. But he kind of has fallen off into the same, roll over Beethoven ground ball to second, middle in hitter, cheating a little bit, can't handle the off speed, can't hit the ball the other way, can't cover the outside part of the plate. I mean, honestly, he looks better right-handed than left-handed to me. He did last year. He swung the bat better. He had better plate coverage. He was shorter to the ball. And remember, he couldn't hit right-handed, which is sort of weird. Like, he can run and he can hit left-handed, but he can't hit right-handed because of his knee or his hip. It seemed very odd. Some of that was like, the rest of their personnel and trying to figure out who to play when, and they're having to play a lot of draw straw, try to patch it together, try to figure it out every day. I mean, is Polanco hot? Is he gonna be hot again today? Should we play him today, or we put Raleigh at first? But can Raleigh play first? But he's actually played pretty decent at first so far. So far so good. Yep. And Canzone has done very well. He hasn't hurt him defensively, and he's got some pop. No, he's hit the ball hard.
He has.
So Canzone needs to play.
Yeah, I was going to bring him up to you, and I had this earlier thing. People that watch and listen to this know that I'm not the biggest Canzone fan. It's not because of him as a player. I don't like the way he celebrates sometimes, and again, it's so fuddy-duddy, like old man on the lawn stuff with him. I don't know why.
It's okay.
Have you ever just run into something, whether it's a person or a thing, that you just, for some reason, they annoy you? And listen, there's a lot of people like, yeah, you're the one. You annoy me. I get it. My family would say the same thing. There's just like
look in the mirror.
There's just little things that annoy you for whatever reason. He just annoys me. And he's probably the nicest guy in the world. Okay. And he's been phenomenal. Since he's come up. But
I think you have to be, you don't have to be iconic to have a signature, celebration.
That's
you
what I think. That's what gets
But I think you need to be in the league for like a month, maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
That's
before you start having iconic celebrations. I think, don't you just put your head down and run the ball, run around the bases, let people judge you for what you are. But the celebration thing is a huge part for our 21st century players. They all have to have it. They all have to have a special celebration.
But hey, he's having fun. It's like someone saying he's having fun. It's a kid's game. Okay, all right. But since he's come back up, and you mentioned he has been great. 273, 310. He's slugging 582. His OPS damn near at 900. What's been different for him? Because he's been a guy that is kind of has that moniker as that 4A player, right? Up, down, up, down, up, down. But there is a skill set there.
Yeah, he was dead pull, fastball only. If you twisted it or yanked on it, he was done. And now he's sat on breaking ball. He's hit some breaking balls for home runs. He's on occasion taken the fastball and hit it the other way. He looks like he's a more educated hitter. He's anticipating a little bit better what people are trying to do to him. He's a little more balanced at the plate, not so much just trying to get the fastball and hit it in the upper deck. And he doesn't have to try to hit the ball hard. He's got great bat speed. So the more he thinks plate coverage, the more he thinks hit a line drive at the shortstop or hit the ball to left center. I think still our young players are thinking that they can't slug if they try to hit the ball at the middle. He doesn't. He can. He's got the power to hit the ball left center and hit it out of the ballpark. So, and like I said, he's played good right field. He's been in position. He's taken good angles. He's caught the baseball. Yeah, it's not great, but it's good.
So, I don't know what game it was. They're all together, right? Because they're just playing every single day. There's a ball that he chased down. It's a battle of
attrition every night.
Yeah, there was a ball that he chased down in right field, and he played it really well down the line, caught it. I mean, he just played it like a right field, planted his foot, bam, threw a little BB back to second base. It just was a well played, maneuver and execution for a right fielder to prevent that runner from taking an extra base. And I think it goes to your point about him just playing better defense since he's been back up.
The first day he came up, I was actually on the field down at the batting cage, and he came up and introduced himself to me, and I was impressed. Okay. He did something besides play baseball at Ohio State. He paid attention because he seemed pretty sharp to me, and those things they usually bode well. He's shown aptitude, right? He was really thin when he got here. He's worked hard to get stronger. He built a weight room inside his house. He's a strong kid now.
Yeah.
He's still lean, but he's strong. And he's made improvements at the plate. He took himself from being kind of an under average right fielder. He's playing at least average, and he throws pretty good. A lot of things are pointing in the right direction for him. The only thing left for him, obviously, to stay consistent, play well in the games you get. But it'll be interesting to see, because Dylan Moore is, it could be, Mastroboni in right field. I guess Mastroboni is your plug and play guy, because Dylan Moore is lost. And he was great the first month and change. He was great. And now they just chase him up the ladder. It's like Groundhog Day. Every at bat's the same at bat with him. And I feel badly because he's a good player, but he's not getting in there against left-handed pitching the way he's swinging the bat. It's going to be Solano and Mastroboni in right field. So I guess the question becomes, can Canzone play against left-handed pitching? It's sort of like, can Raleigh play against left-handed pitching? And right now, neither one of them has got a track record that says, you need to play me against left-handed pitching. And so the club's always going to err on the side of what's our best matchup, as opposed to, can this guy actually break through and be an everyday player? I don't have the answer to that, because every day is like, it's a do or die ultimatum. We play the matchups till the end. We start shifting the lineup in the middle of the game. We play every matchup, drain the bullpen, drain the bench. I mean, that's just how they play. And I'm not saying that's bad, but that's how they play. Now, sometimes, every once in a while, it's good to take a collective bet and let a guy play. Let him play against the same side hand.
Yeah.
But right now, they're not going to do that. They're going to try their best to put their best foot forward for that day.
Last 40 for Dylan Moore, 169. I mean, OPS under 500. He's struck out 41 times and 7 walks. I mean, at this point,
it's
what can you do? What can you do with him?
Keep working away from the game. Try to get him to be shorter to the ball and try to stay off the ball above the hands. Tilt the visor of your hat down so you're looking at the ball. I don't know. I mean, he's a good guy to bring in late
sacrifice
games.
a chicken? What are we doing here? I mean, back in the day, there was a slump buster, but I don't think we want to do that with him. And then we could get in trouble talking about this stuff. That's not PC anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Okay?
That's
but I mean, what do we do?
Right.
Like, what do I mean? Wear women's underwear to a game? You tell me.
Well, it's the player. The player has to figure out how to. He's been around a long time, and he needs to go back and watch himself play well. I think one of my big things, I think, is as opposed to constantly looking at your present circumstance, find a stretch of games where you're doing well.
Yeah.
It's not so much you're trying to say, what mechanically can I do different? Watching yourself do well over and over, it reminds you that you're a good player. Confidence is it's the biggest thing in sports. 100%. It doesn't matter if you're Shohei Ohtani or Michael Jordan or Tom Brady, or it doesn't matter. Confidence up and down, it's the whole key. And right now he has no confidence at the plate. And he has to find it. And I say, look at yourself doing well, and maybe try to think about seeing the ball a little bit longer. Try to get the ball down. Try to hit the ball the other way. Maybe drag bunt. Do whatever you can, but you got to start trying to rebuild the fort.
I just love what you said about confidence and how it applies to all sports. You're so right. You're so right. It's so much about that. How you feel as a player and a person, what's going on, what type of attitude that you have, and all of it, the emotion, because, man, you go up to the plate or you go on the court, on the field, doesn't matter what you're doing on the ice, and if you just don't have that confidence in yourself, then, God, you're already defeated. You can see it all the time.
It's everybody. It's not just reserved for people that are considered to be sort of the run-of-the-mill player.
Right.
From the best to it affects everybody.
You had mentioned something just about their tinkering and the lineups and the bullpens and all that stuff. I'm just curious at this part of the season, how many games they played? 83, right? 83 games? Yeah. How would you evaluate Dan Wilson? Like, this is his first full year. Like I'm not last year because he came in the last 30 games, but this first full year spring training until now. What do you like? What do you think? Hey, maybe do something better here. I mean, no one is a finished product ever. Players can get better, but so managers can learn and get better as well.
I think he's had a steady hand. I think the games are starting to slow down for him a little bit more, and he's got a better feel for the game. Because I think when you jump into that seat, and you haven't been in that seat for forever, and you've been off the field really under competitive pressure for a long time, intelligent, super player, of course, caught, which puts the game in front of you, understands the pitch game and the offensive game. I think he's gotten he's anticipating better. I think he's got a better feel for his players. And I think what you're seeing is that you don't hear a lot of rumble, which means that players, I think, in general, are happy and feel like they're getting a fair shot, and there just isn't any strife. He never throws anybody under the bus. He's very even-handed. He's very positive. And I think those things are really great for a team that's trying to, find its way to be an elite team. Underneath that calm demeanor is a guy that has a strong will to win, that is very tough. There's a guy that spent the first 2 years of his career in Seattle being screamed at by Lou Piniella after every inning. So I don't think he wants to be that for his players. Right. So I mean, there's been, there's going to be a few things that stick out. Sometimes he didn't pitch hit, sometimes he did. I don't think I can recall a real pitching gaffe. He had the one where the guy was coming in and then it wasn't the guy.
I think the one that I was just curious about, and I don't know what maybe they just felt, hey, it's the Minnesota game. It's a rain delay. We want to get out of here. I just don't. Maybe he didn't care about the game. I shouldn't say he shouldn't care about the game. But the Zach Pop game, the one I'm talking about, where he kind of left him in there, and it just felt like that was still a winnable game. That he just kind of was like, felt like sacrificial lamb. Just you wear it and let's move on.
Well, I'm still struggling with whatever happened to Jackson Kowar. What's wrong with him? Is he a bad guy? 8 appearances, 2.08 ERA, 97 with a dark slider. To me, when you go, and I'm going to rank them, Munoz, Brash, we're just doing that because Munoz is the closer, and Brash is throwing the ball better than anybody. Right. Then you got Spire, then you got Vargas, and to me, Kowar was ahead of Vargas when they sent him out for Zach Pop. I don't understand. And now Kowar got put up, he was on the taxi squad, and now they got some kid from AA that probably throws rockets but doesn't know where it's going or whatever. What's wrong with Kowar? To me, Kowar fit nicely at the end. I thought he had command. I thought he could pitch late in games, and his stuff was good enough. For some reason, they don't like him that much. I don't know. He's one of their guys. They got him in a trade. He did Tommy John. He bounced back. I'm mystified on him because I like him. I think he's better. He's better than all those guys, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, in a lot of respects, he's better than Vargas because he pitches like a traditional power righty that has a clear idea what he wants to do. Vargas, and Vargas and Bizzardo are kind of the same. They're like. They look like world beaters. They'll strike out 2 or 3 in a row, and then they'll throw a just absolute stupid pitch right down the middle, and a guy will hit one off the wall or hit a homer. They're both kind of similar that way, right? Yeah. Vargas's stuff is better, and that doesn't play well late in games. I'm not so sure yet on, Vargas is great, but I don't know that Vargas is your guy when the Klieg lights are on. It's win at this moment, and you got the lead, and you got to close the door. And Bizzardo has had a great season. He's done a really good job for the team, but I'm just using that as an example. Trent Thornton is a guy that gets righties out. I'm not enamored with him. Legumina, when he gets rest, he's really good because the ball leaps out of his hand. But if you pitch him too much, his stuff kind of waters down. I just don't know what happened to Jackson Kowar. I guess that's where you're not asking me that question. Why did Pop take it in the teeth? I don't know. But they left him out there to die. I guess they thought he could get one more out, and before you know it, it's an 8 spot.
You know what? I know what's happened to you. You made it just a great content one more time. One more week. Bill Krueger, Old School Baseball, every week with us. You can follow him on social media, old_school_MLB. And I'll be honest with you, that was one of the worst transitions I've ever made, from going pop coar to having you on the show. That really was like, if you could throw me out of a game, throw me out of broadcasting, I would have ejected myself right there. But you are the best. You can find all of Bill's work again up there on old_school_MLB, his podcast platform, which you'll find this episode up there as well. Our appearances on his platform, in addition to ours, Old School Baseball, on Spotify and wherever you find your podcast. Thank you for doing it every single week. I always look forward to it. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you next Monday, my friend.
All righty. Sounds good, Jason. Have a happy and safe 4th.
Thank you. You as well. There he is, Bill Krueger, with us every single Monday talking baseball. Old School Baseball is the podcast. Old_school_MLB is where you can find him on social media. And again, on social media, he does some videos pretty much every single day, a couple of them just talking baseball. They are in this stretch where they are playing every single day. They've got 13 more games here to finish off the first half of the season. We'll see if they can gain any more ground here on the Astros. Their schedule for the Astros is pretty favorable to them as they wind up here in the first half of the season. And can they dip into or make any type of dent at all into that 6.5 game deficit that they currently have? And how aggressive? I would think that they would be overly aggressive here at the deadline. I'm not sure what they would be waiting for. I think ownership's got to lean into this with this front office and be like, you've got to get them into the playoffs and really should win the division. Again, I know what people are going to say. Hey, it's just about getting in. See, I agree that I disagree with that. And I understand, hey, it's about getting in and anything that happens. But this is now a decade, and we have been told and promised about how good this team was supposed to be at this time in the tenure under Jerry DiPoto. And we did this all the time on the radio, of where he is just so good at just pushing and moving the goalposts further and further and further away. But this was the 2025 is you win the division and you put that team out of its misery. You put them away. They've yet to do that. Now they may ultimately at the end of the year catch them and win the division. Okay, fine. But right now, it's embarrassing that this team is 6.5 games back of them. Embarrassing. Because of what that team lost, what that team doesn't have, what you didn't do to enhance this team. And they looked like geniuses in the first part of the season when you had Jorge Polanco doing what he could do. I mean, go back. I know there's the line, and I'm going to paraphrase what Jerry DiPoto said about the team. This is like the most complete roster I've ever had. Again, you say that now at that point of the season. Now let's wait till the end of the season. How is that going to hold up at the end of the season if it continues? They're like this. 2-3 games over 500. I think even at the time when he said it, this is the most complete and balanced team. That's embarrassing after a decade of being on the job. That lineup can't be the most complete lineup you've ever had. Just can't be. Suarez would make a lot of sense, but this is also an organization that gave him away. Just didn't want him. For whatever reason. Just didn't want him. And that guy is just, continues to hit. Fan favorite. All of it. And now we went over the numbers earlier with Polanco. The last 45 games, Jorge Polanco, worse than he was last year. Now, again, as I noted, this is when the Puckett reverse jinx, because we talked about Solano and Garver and all these guys. Now watch Polanco starting tonight. I am guaranteeing tonight Polanco 2 hits, drives in at least 3 or more this evening. But, he's hasn't done well. I mean, they still, it's a patchwork at first base. That's unfair with right field because you expected Robles to be there. Rosarina has been up and down. Ben Williamson's glove is good, but it's not, his bat is not. Shortstop's been good. JP's been great. Cal has been. Again, this is where we go back. If you weren't seeing the 2 seasons right now out of Cal Raleigh, and Bill said it there, of Cal and JP, God, where would they be at right now? Good Lord. All right. Big thanks to Bill Krueger. Old School Baseball, again, is the podcast. You can find his appearances with me on the Daily Puck Drop, also up on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. Also, you can find his appearance, Old School Baseball, with me on his podcast platform as well. Just search Old School Baseball. And again, follow him on social media, Old School MLB. All right. Latest edition of the Sports Pit is out it's usually every Mondays it gets released. Sometimes we record it Sunday night. Sometimes it's Monday. Just depends on schedules. Everyone's busy. The full hour is available for Puck's Posse members. If you just go to pucksports.com, you can sign up there. All it costs you is $5 a month. You get access to everything we do, including the bonus shows like the Sports Pit, our Thursday visit with Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered podcast. By the way, his new podcast is out, which is free to everyone on Mondays. And then our Wednesday appearance there with Ryan Divish. It's an hour long, just an audio platform there for Puck's Posse members. But every week we give you like a sneak preview, little teaser of the show. This week's show, we talk, the full show. I don't think it's the first time maybe in media or podcast history we talked 20 minutes about Brown Bear Car Wash, but there's something Stretch does with Brown Bear that I think is odd. I think both Sandy and I think it's odd, but like we're mesmerized by his dedication and his commitment to the Brown Bear Car Wash. On the sneak preview, we talk a lot about kind of what we open up the show with, and that's Dylan Moore. What do you do with Dylan Moore? Are people cutting him slack because he's the Willie Bloomquist try-hard guy? Sneak preview of this week's Sports Pit with myself, Steve Sandmeyer, and Matt Stretch Johnson. Worried about him.
What do you mean?
Worried about him just because it's too much. To everything.
Well, where would you put Mitch Levy on the worry wart schedule? Where would you put him on the worry wart scale? Sandmeyer, you answer this.
Yeah.
Would you put him at a 10+? Or would you put him at an 8.5? I mean,
like,
as a worry wart, Mitch is the president of worry wartism.
Did somebody tell Mitch that Pete Rose is not going to end Ray Fosse's career? The game's changed a little bit. Like, what does he have to worry about?
I think the home run derby.
Not so much the home run derby.
Oh, God.
It's kind of like the whole pomp and circumstance of it, right? Because he's I'm just telling you what
he's going to be exhausted.
He's just gonna be exhausted because he's like the new flavor there. So he's gonna be pulled in all these different directions. He's gonna have to. I'm just telling you what he says, and then it's gonna wear him out, and he should be at home.
You know what? Mitch has a great point. Cal Raleigh played a full season with a broken thumb, but you know what's going to do him over? Walking on a red carpet. That's going to take the toll. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Cal Raleigh won't have any cartilage in either one of his knees by the time his career is over. But you know what's going to do him in? Talking to Tom Verducci and Greg Amsinger on the set of
fucking
MLB
Network.
I mean, what are we talking about here?
The bow tie is going to get him.
Pomp and circumstance is going to wear him out. Like,
don't yell at me. I'm just. I'm giving.
Don't do the messenger shit. Don't do the messenger thing with us.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get miss that.
But you want him now. There's always this fan base or people, right, that will blame. Don't do the home run derby. It's going to ruin the swing.
I don't believe in that at all.
It's going to tire him out. It's going to change his swing, despite like all this evidence. It doesn't do any of that. But you guys don't fall into that. You want to see?
No.
We all want to see him do it. I want to see him hit from both sides.
He's going to hit bombs from both sides, just like Adley Rutschman did in Seattle.
Yeah,
that was killer. That was outstanding.
And his pops is throwing to him. How cool is that?
Yeah, and his brother's catching him, right?
Dude, that is did you read where his brother's bigger than him?
Holy macro.
Apparently taller than him, and he's 15 or 16.
Holy shit!
Wait,
was Mitch worried about who was throwing to him at all?
Yeah, worried that the dad could hit him and then knock him out too. And,
yeah, right. Right.
No, the younger brother is I think he's 6'3", a little over 6'3".
I'm assuming he plays too, right? He plays
too, yes, yeah.
Okay.
I think catcher too.
Oh no! Come on, he's got to be smarter than that. First base.
Well, I'm just guessing. But
have the Mariners drafted him yet?
We should
to kind of get that whole circle enclosed.
Yeah. Well, I want to see Cal. I can't wait to see him with the just everything, right? Because he's, besides Judge, I mean, one of the biggest stories in baseball.
Well, let's just hope it's not too taxing on him and wears him out.
If he goes 3 for 27, Mitch will jump on that.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
it was because he's exhausted.
Yeah,
he
can't wait.
He's
exhausted.
exhausted.
A small part of him will be like, what I'm doing, I'm going to be right.
Told you, Puck.
Yeah.
Puck, remember when you guys made fun of me?
Yeah.
Remember when you three? I love the sports pit, but you made fun of me, and now you're all wrong. You're all wrong because he's 3 for 27 since the break, and he got exhausted, and he had to take coach. He had to fly coach back and forth. Nobody gave him a private ride. He had to fly coach. And this is what happens. I told you. Yeah.
God, I love the guy.
And you didn't know. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, not just the All-Star break, but should they, how careful should they be with them? No, not careful. That's the wrong way to put it. How many should they give them more days off? Should they, when they actually have Garver catch, or
maybe give him more DH days?
Well, or don't DH him at all and just be
give him a full sit.
Yeah,
I'm sure they will. It's going to be a tug of war. I mean,
because he wants to play every day.
Oh my God, he's an absolute complete
savage.
Look
at the standings. When you pull, sorry to sound Captain Obvious. When you pull him out of the lineup, if he sits, he can only sit 1 day a week. What else? Who are all the dangerous bats around him?
Yeah.
Sandmeyer, you nailed it. Right when we got off the air, the next day they intentionally walked him, and Rosa Rain, I think, either ground into a double play or popped out weakly to second.
They intentionally walked him twice before the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And there was some stat, I don't know if it was Alex Mayer or somebody on the comm side was talking about, it was like that and Griffey was like that kind of sequence occurred. I don't know. Maybe there's another player in there somewhere, but it was super rare. But he will get that treatment. He's got to get it. I mean, there's no.
Why would you be worried about the other guys?
I mean, we've seen people get intentionally walked to get to Julio. It happens. So yeah, how about Dylan Moore? Have you seen what he's been up to?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my God.
That's
night.
He is cooked.
Yeah.
I think he had something like 20 Ks and 36 at bats or something, or something absurd.
He's again another one.
This is the go-to guy's favorite subject is Dylan Moore, because his favorite subject is, you have to preface it every time when you talk about Dylan Moore's. Listen, we love Dylan Moore. Everybody loves Dylan Moore. But
do we?
But I think he. Don't you think he falls into the Willie Bloomquist role? Everybody loved Willie.
Willie Bloomquist didn't Willie Bloomquist hit 266?
But again, the reason why everyone loved Willie Bloomquist is because he was a South Kitsap guy.
But I think
he was a local guy, and he did all these things, and he was a tryhard, and everyone rooted for him. Yeah. I don't feel people are like that with Dylan Moore. It's like he's a utility guy, jack of all trades, master of none, and they brought up this silly utility infield Gold Glove award and handed it to him last year, and it's like he was Roger Maris for the first 2 weeks of the season, and then he turned back into Dylan Moore. Is there more to it?
I think he's a more fan favorite than you think.
Dylan Moore.
Yeah, I think, at least that's my perception of him. My perception is that maybe not our age or our demo, but maybe older, and just people love Dylan Moore because I think the
grandparents. I'm not being a smartass, but how about why? Why?
I think because he kind of symbolizes the try hard, can do everything,
got to the bigs,
the whole thing. Yeah.
Just play different positions because he can't hit. I mean, he can't do that.
I agree with you. Here's his last 40 games. Sometimes he's hitting 169. He's slugging 270.
Oh my God.
He's struck out 41 times and has walked 7.
Okay, say that again.
41 strikeouts and 7 walks in his last 40 games.
Oh my God.
That's almost hard. That's almost hard to do.
89 at bats.
40 punch outs in 89 at bats.
496 OPS.
Oh my God.
He needs just a couple days off.
Forget the yips. He is cooked.
And they gave him damn near $10 million.
Really?
Yeah, 3 years, 3-year deal, over 10 million.
Good for him.
Around 10. Yeah,
Good for him.
Don't blame him.
My
He
instinct.
got his-
Good for
he got his
him.
money, yeah.
Every penny guaranteed.
Every penny guaranteed.
I mean, what does the other day? I mean, he was in right. He could play second, right? Second short. He can do everything. He played
play everything.
everything, but normally not first base.
Well, I think he has, though. He's played everything except catcher.
But he can't hit.
Which brings us up. What do we know who the emergency catcher
It's him.
was? Is it him?
I think so.
Okay.
Like Willie Bloomquist. Wasn't Bloomquist the third, the emergency?
Probably.
Why doesn't baseball do the same thing that hockey does? We can bring out some 45-year-old carpenter to sit back with a gear, for a couple innings.
Great.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
That is a fucking fabulous idea. God, that's a great idea.
That doesn't count against the 24 man.
Yeah,
he's just down on the end. He's on the end with that cop.
Right.
With the cop that's making overtime cash. He's just down there drinking Gatorade.
Doug from Granite Falls. He's just an emergency catcher.
And he plays weekend softball.
He's the best electrician in the area.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny shit.
4 kids, 2 aren't his.
He's got his name on the wall because he ate the 96-ounce steak challenge. He won that.
He just gets in the game and he's catching fucking Munoz in the night.
Ate a pig's trough at Farrell's.
Right.
Yeah, he's up on the wall.
Just crouching
He's up
down.
on the wall.
How
Jason, you said he's got 4 kids. 2 of them aren't his. Boy, what? Wow, that was rough, man.
Well, but it's kind of
why would that? Wow.
He's a family guy.
He takes care of his stepkids.
He
That's
still
all.
does. Yeah, he takes care of them.
Wow,
that was judgy. That was
fucking
really judgy.
beat up Doug all of a sudden.
Yeah.
One, we're looking for an emergency third catcher, and then all of a sudden he's got 4 kids that 2 of them aren't his.
Right, say that at your wine party.
Yeah, I will.
Damn it. And I'm worried about $27 at Brown Bear.
Hey.
I don't think so anymore.
Well, you're going to start tomorrow, the greatest streak alive.
Oh,
I mean,
Does it start tomorrow? I didn't mean to get back on that.
57.
Let's go back to Willie Bloomquist. And
So you think Dylan Moore's a fan favorite, huh?
I don't know. So you guys, both of you feel like the majority of fans don't like him? Say, I feel like...
I don't think they really care one way or another.
No, I don't think it's a don't like him. I'm
think
just
it's
surprised.
I think it's just meh. Okay, but I mean, because maybe it's a fan favorite other than the obvious ones, right? Julio's the obvious fan favorite, right?
Number one's Raleigh.
Maybe Raleigh, of course, the obvious fan favorite. Maybe they just need a try-hard guy. Because if we're using that logic, why isn't a guy like Miles Mastrobuoni that person? He plays a bunch of different positions.
Williamson, Cole Young.
Oh, little Ben.
Oh, maybe Cole Young's hasn't been up too long, but
Ben Williamson. The little fella.
He'll jump up against that net.
It's like Eric's. It's like Eric's Little Heroes. Remember that? Remember Eric? Look at Ben Williamson. He's ready.
I love that.
And I went to the park and I watched it myself. Yeah.
How about that Master Bunny? How about that catch the other night?
That was sick.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was sick.
He's a good little player.
Little fella. Listen to you. You gonna go pat him on the head?
Yeah.
Little player. What's the go-to guy think about him? Is he okay with him?
He does not like. He's not a Dylan Moore fan. Yeah, he's not.
But he prefaces it by saying, "I know everybody."
He goes. Why do we have to say that? Why do we always have to say every time that Dylan Moore is so
much? I think so much, even though I don't listen. I think so much is sports radio, and then there's this thing. There's this little bit of a groundswell, and people start, and you can't really argue against these opinions, right? Like I don't mean to bring up Oklahoma City, but that was to me a massive piece of sports radio was Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Because it was talked about every day and every day and every day. And I'm in the minority, so I won't try to defend myself.
Sure.
But I mean, like, if it's talked about, like, he's a good player. I mean, he shows up on time. He doesn't commit crimes. He doesn't get a DUI. We got to put Dylan Moore out there. He's a good guy. You know what, honey? You know what I heard the other day? And then I heard this guy does not have a DUI on his record. I like him. And all of a sudden, Bev and Marty are at the game cheering harder. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't give a damn about Dylan Moore. I mean, like nothing. I mean, if he gets cut, he won't get cut because he paid him $10 million. Like, fan favorite. Like, I don't see that at all. especially with that batting average
I
that
think
he's
with
got going.
Crowd, though, like the crowd that like hangs out, like autographs, that early crowd. I just think he runs out on the field, and I think people cheer.
Great. That's great.
I don't get it. I don't. They got.
Woo! Woo! That's great. I haven't heard that Steve Sandmeyer in 25 years. That's fantastic.
There it is, another edition of this week's Sports Pit. And again, if you want to listen to the entire episode with the KJR Castaways, myself, Steve Sandmeyer, Matt Stretch Johnson, go to pucksports.com, sign up to be a Pucks Posse member. It's just $5 a month. It gets you the full hour podcast from this week. Do a real deep dive into Brown Bear Car Wash. Plus more on Dylan Moore, Cal Raleigh. It started off with me relaying to them about Cal and Mitch's concern. Not so much concern about the home, not a concern at all about the home run derby or any of that, or how much is he going to play? Just all of the stuff being pulled in all these different directions. And I just knew they would have a good chuckle because Mitch worries about stuff. You'd have a good chuckle about him being so worried about everything else that is going on. Hey, speaking of the rest of this week, we'll have shows. Tomorrow will be great because we'll ask Jim Duquette about kind of a similar topic that Mitch had talked to Steve Phillips, because he has Steve Phillips on his podcast, just about the wear and tear it is on a catcher's all-star break, and all that. Is it better served for Cal Raleigh to just take a seat and all that kind of stuff? I mean, he's not going to. He's going to participate in the home run derby. I can't wait for it. His dad's throwing to him. His brother's catching. I mean, just phenomenal. So we'll have Jim Duquette on tomorrow. John Canzone will join us tomorrow. Get the latest on Texas State, which, if you don't know, officially has joined the Pac-12. Wednesday, we, fingers crossed, we'll have Jim Moore back if he can get his internet to work. We also will have Ryan Divish will join us, our MLB insider. Will join us there on Wednesday as well. And then no show Thursday and Friday. Friday's the 4th. Thursday, it's leading up to the 4th, so everyone's going to take it off anyway. So no Garofalo this week, no Mitch this week, no Brad Adam. And then on Friday, no Chris Egan and the Scout. And we'll talk to you back there on Monday. But a short week here, a little 3-day week. I need a little time off. I've been going hard. Baseball, I've been doing baseball. Listen, it's fun, okay? But I was thinking about this last night. I've had baseball almost every day since February 20th. I mean, that's a lot. So the little Ballard boys were eliminated this weekend in the District 8 tournament. Hey, good luck to all those other teams. So many good teams that are left in it. Are looking forward to it and watching it. It's just fun. Just watching all these parents and kids that I know from all these different teams and areas and watch them all have success. And so many good ball players out there. It's just amazing, all this talent that is at this age level. And then we'll have more of this group. That's the 12U group. Our 11U group goes next week. And hey, watch out for the Ballard 11U team. They're gonna make some noise in that tournament. All right. So again, short week this week, off Thursday, off Friday, back with a full slate of shows coming up next Monday. And as I mentioned before, that little sneak preview of the Sports Pit, full Sports Pit is out again for Pucks Posse members. Just sign up at pucksports.com. $5 a month. If you have any issues, you're like, I really want to listen to it, but I just can't afford it right now, send me an email, puck@pucksports.com, and we will take care of you. If you miss anything from today's show, everything's a podcast. As always, just go to your favorite podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, always up at pucksports.com. All right, let's wrap it up with Hey What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One. They're of North Seattle. They are your restoration experts. They let you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services. They're locally owned and operated, I should say. And when any issue comes up, any type of damage to your residential or commercial property, those folks over there at Restoration One are going to take care of you. 206-817-8917, or visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Mariners in a weird spot right now, and I kind of touched on a little bit there before we played a little bit of the sports pit. I understand the sentiment about getting into the playoffs. And once you get in, everyone's got a shot. But as a Mariner fan, I'm just fed up after a decade that we're talking about just getting into the wild card and having potentially one game at home. This area, this city, this fan base just deserves so much more. This fan base deserves to have an ownership and a front office that is just committed to winning and wanting to win. And despite what happens here in the remainder portion of the season, right? They haven't shown that same commitment to wanting to win. Putting out players out there that can win. And it's a disservice to us as fans. I mean, we keep coming back. We'll always come back because we love baseball and we love the team. And I think you can still love the team, but then have issues with how it's run, how it's operated. We all do. But it's as we go into July here, you know, if you would have asked me months ago or before the offseason started, I don't want to sit here on July 1st and go, God, they've got to make up 6.5 games to the Astros. By the way, that's the Astros team that has lost two of their best offensive players. And then their third offensive, one of their other monsters in their lineup, basically hurt all season long. Issues with their pitching, too, as well. And right now, as they get closer and closer to the break, my God, they must be laughing at them, to themselves and everybody else going, I can't believe we have this big of a lead right now. Or this, no, it's not a huge lead, but that we have this type of lead. It's a real indictment to how this club is operated at times. Just a real indictment to it. And, you know, and you have a president come out and say, you know, a month ago or a month and a half ago, it's the most complete lineup he's ever put together. It's just how is it? I mean, you've got Polanco's reverted back to last year, but I keep saying that, so watch him have a big game tonight. And he's even worse than he was last year. You know, he had nothing viable at first base at all. Right, we've talked about before, the DH situation. And, you know, you've been carried by two guys. And I think if your game plan is, hey, we're just waiting for a second half surge from one of our star players, that's just a tough way to operate every single year. Basically, it's just this. You deserve better. We as fans deserve better from these guys. We'll see if in the next few months they can actually pull it together and chase this team down. That is a very gettable division. And that was the expectation this year, was to win the division, not sneak into the playoffs. All right, that's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect you. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Again, full sports bid up at for Puck's Posse members. Go to pucksports.com to sign up there. Thank you for watching and listening today. Thank you to all the sponsors. As always, Lindback Lumber, Clean Streak, also Restoration One. Full today's Daily Puck Drop up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel, like it, leave a comment. Try to get to as many as I possibly can. Also, find the Daily Puck Drop, if you like to just listen to it, on your favorite podcast platforms as well, Apple, Spotify, and, of course, you can find it up at pucksports.com. Again, when you're at pucksports.com, sign up to become a Puck's Posse member. $5 a month is all it's going to cost you, hitting you there in the wallet. You get to all of our free content plus bonus shows like our baseball coverage with Ryan Divish, Thursdays with Mitch, also the sports bit that comes out every Monday with myself, Steve Sandmeyer, and Matt Stretch Johnson. You can find all that up at pucksports.com. Thank you, everyone, again, for always riding along and checking us out. Appreciate it very, very much. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As always, promise to be better.
No die show.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for?
We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!